Jim Thome returned to Cleveland with a bang, homering in his second game after being acquired from the Twins. A class act, both on the field and off. Tonight, the Tribe says thanks to the 8th member of the 600 Home Run Club next on Sports Time Ohio. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, a very special night. The Indians open a series against the Minnesota Twins, and they'll pay tribute before the game to one of their all-time greatest players, home run leader Jim Thome. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning, and what it has been our great privilege to watch virtually Jim Thome's entire Major League career, from the very humble beginnings at Old Cleveland Stadium to where he is today, a Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Well, when you look at the start of his career, a thin young man that was playing third base and hit some of the longest home runs you can possibly hit, and he's turned into – he has not changed. He's been the same guy. There's number 600 in Detroit, his family there to celebrate. When you look at 600 home runs, there's only 8 guys in all of baseball that have ever done that. That's something very, very special. And to have the honor to watch this guy start in the Cleveland Indians uniform, end it in the Cleveland Indians uniform, is something very, very special. And he has walked a lot along the way.
Of those 8 members of the 600 Home Run Club, Jim Thome's the only one to hit home runs number 599 and 600 in consecutive ABs. And by the way, he hasn't officially said he's going to hang them up at season's end, so we'll have to stay tuned. Meanwhile, tonight's pitching matchup, let's take a look. It's a good one. Justin Masterson for the Tribe, Carl Pavano for Minnesota. Pitching matchup brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
Well, these two hooked up in Minnesota. It was a very good game until Pavano missed on a 3-2 pitch to Kosuke Fukudome, and it ended up costing him the game. He's 1-1 against the Indians this year in 4 games started. It should be a very good matchup. Justin Masterson looking to wind it up. He's 12-10, 315 earned run average. He did beat Minnesota his last time out.
We'll have a packed house here tonight at Progressive Field, and coming up next, you won't miss any of the Indians celebration honoring the franchise's all-time home run leader, Jim Thome. That's straight ahead. To start the pregame ceremony honoring Jim Thome. Big crowd on hand. Some of them have headed for cover. A lot of umbrellas popping up everywhere.
It's unfortunate, too, because the rain just started a couple of minutes ago.
I don't think it's still going to be able to dampen the spirits of this crowd, though. They are ready to roar tonight for Jim Thome. Just had the playing of our national anthem. Thome was already introduced in the starting lineup tonight, and that got a huge ovation from the crowd. The various dignitaries who are on hand have taken their seats, and our good buddy Tom Hamilton will MC the ceremony down on the field, and we'll be throwing it down to him in just a moment. Meanwhile, the grounds crew, it looks like they're going to put the tarp on the field in the meantime while we have the ceremonies tonight. They're unrolling the tarp. Looked like they were just about ready to put it away for the night, and this rain shower popped up out of nowhere. Right now, let's send it down to Tom Hamilton.
Teammates, please welcome Jim's family, his wife Andrea, children Lila and Landon, and his father Chuck. In addition, a few of the teammates that are here to celebrate this special event include his former manager, Mike Hargrove, and teammates Paul Sorrento, Chad Oj, Sandy Alomar, and Carlos Baerga. Jim's journey to 600 home runs is a story built on consistency, dependability, professionalism, power, and just as importantly, character. Please direct your attention to the scoreboard as we take you on Jim's journey to 600 career home runs. Jim joined the Indians organization as an 18-year-old in 1989 and spent 12 seasons in an Indians uniform. In appreciation and recognition for your dedication to the Cleveland Indians franchise and your special place among the elite home run hitters in baseball, we welcome Indians President Mark Shapiro to the podium for a special presentation.
Thanks, Tom. It's statistics that put you in an elite company among some of the most special names in the game, but that's really an excuse for your teammates, past and present, for those of us in the Indians organization, staff, on and off the field, for our fans. We have a chance to celebrate you as a man. And what's worthy of celebration as much as 300 home runs is your consistency, your professionalism, your strength, and your character. So, Jim, on behalf of the city of Cleveland and the Cleveland Indian organization, thank you for all you've done.
Thank you, Mark. But we have one more special announcement, Jim. In recognition of your milestone achievement and your place in Indians history as the franchise all-time home run leader, and to celebrate the indelible mark that you have made on this franchise and this city, the following tribute is in your honor. Please direct your attention to the scoreboard as we unfurl an artist rendering of a statue that will be placed at the top of Heritage Park near the spot of the longest home run ever hit in this ballpark. Hit by you, featuring your famed batting stance. This statue will forever serve to remind Indians fans for the past, the present, and future of your on-field accomplishments as one of importance to the Indians franchise, both professionally and personally. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest players and one of the greatest human beings to ever wear the Cleveland Indians uniform, Jim Thome.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out in the rain tonight. What a special night. I want to thank both organizations tonight for coming together and letting me come back to a place that it all started and get this opportunity. I want to thank my ex-teammates for coming in tonight, flying in. You've always been very special. You know, we went through the grind there in the 90s, and I always say you're only as good as your teammates, and I had a bunch of good ones around me, and I want to thank you guys. I also want to thank the Minnesota Twins, teammates, Gardy, everyone in that organization for giving me the opportunity to reach 600 home runs. You're very special to me. And my new teammates, getting a chance to come back home and getting a chance to meet all you guys, it's been a wonderful pleasure. It's been a great month, something I'll never forget, and there's a lot of great things in store for Cleveland to come. I want to thank my family, Andrea, my two kids, Landon and Lila, my dad, Chuck, my brothers and sisters. I mean, what do you say? Family is everything. They give me this opportunity. They're supportive. They're there every day. And I just want to tell you I love you guys. And last but not least, I want to thank the fans for embracing me, giving me that chance. You know, the first night when I came back, the ovation you guys gave me was something I'll never forget. One of the most special moments of my career. I really thank you guys for everything in the 90s, tonight, and thanks for coming out tonight, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for the wonderful memories. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the tributes of Jim Thome and his remarkable 600 home run journey throughout tonight's game, including the post-game fireworks that will have a Jim Thome theme. How about one last hand of appreciation for number 25, Jim Thome.
A special night for a special ball player and a special man. Jim Thome honored here tonight by the Cleveland Indians and the great fans of this ball club. Packed house, waiting to see baseball at the moment. It's raining, so I don't know what we're going to be looking at here in terms of a potential delay, but at the moment, nobody worried about that right now. Just so many warm and special memories come flooding back.
Well, it is great to see. A statue will be here in Progressive Field, out in Heritage Park near where he hit the longest home run in this ballpark. And he did not know that prior to coming into today. I think that was a shocker to him, but definitely deserved. And it was, a celebration of the 90s, the greatest era in Cleveland for a long, long time.
Something maybe you can speak to, Rick. You don't start out playing baseball thinking about 600 home runs. You don't start out your career thinking about the accolades and the awards that come along the way. But I just wonder what goes through a player's mind. I mean, I wonder what's going through Jim Thome's mind right now, because these aren't the things you set out to accomplish. But when you have the kind of career he's had, these are the rewards.
Well, the funny thing of it is, when you talk to Charlie Manuel, and Jim Thome was a minor leaguer, he had a tough time pulling the ball. You know, he was hitting the ball down the third base line before he even came up. Charlie Manuel got him to open his stance a little bit and got him to maybe pull the ball. He realized he was a big kid. But, I mean, he had power to every part of the ballpark. And you know what? This is just a dedication to a hard work. What was he, a 12th, 13th round draft pick? He was 13th round pick. And you never expect anybody like that. But, I mean, as they say, they're celebrating him for his numbers and for some of the numbers he put on the board. He's a better human being than he is a baseball player, and that says more.
To me, that's the irony. The Indians made him a 13th round pick, and for their money, he homered every 13 at-bats in his career.
There you go. I mean, that's up there with the elite in the game ever, and number 8 on the all-time list. And, I mean, these kids here, they don't realize, well, I guess they do realize, this guy's a legend. He will be a Hall of Famer someday. When he retires, 5 years, you have to wait. But these kids have an opportunity to mingle and talk to him and see what it's all about.
I think they do. You're right. I think they do recognize and appreciate the kind of career he's had. But what they don't recognize and appreciate is he's special as a person, because not every great player is as friendly, as accessible, and who goes out of their way to talk to young players as a guy like Jim Thome.
Right. Nobody's like that. I mean, these guys, this is something very special for these kids here that they can share. Because it was very special times when he first came up, when he was a young player, and guys like Eddie Murray were here for him, and you know, players, you know, the veteran players set the standard for him, and he just carries the game along, carries the torch along, and passes on everything he learned about the game to the rest of the players, and you know, and it happens to be against the Twins where he hit number 600 with the Minnesota Twins, and he's very thankful to that organization as well, and they worked the deal out for him to come back here.
Talking to him before the ball game, you know, he talked about just how special it has been for him to be able to come back. And he said, you know, I thought about it. I wondered what it would be like to get an opportunity to come back to Cleveland one last time. But he said you never really know exactly how it's going to play out. But he mentioned it there in his speech, and he talked about it before the game too. He said that ovation that I got when I came up for that first at bat back, he said that's something that I will never forget. It's something that will stay with me forever.
It's almost like a healing for him because of when
Yep.
he was a free agent, he signed with the Phillies,
Yep.
and it didn't matter what the Indians offered. The Phillies were going to offer more years, more money, more anything, and that's one thing he did not want to do was, hurt the people here at Cleveland that meant so much to him.
This was the scene, that first at bat back in an Indians uniform, and that crowd roared. He then joked, Rick, he said, I just wish I could have done a little better in that first at bat. And he laughed because, he was so anxious.
First pitch.
He had a little topper.
The anxious. He never swings at the first pitch, but he did that night because he was so juiced up. But, unfortunately, the weather, it's not going to rain on his parade, that's for sure. It may be raining and the water's coming down, but it's too bad the fans just couldn't sit out there and enjoy it like they really could have.
Well, we're unfortunately going to have to begin tonight in a rain delay. Hopefully this isn't going to be around very long. I think the forecast for tonight actually looked pretty good. But at the moment, we got a little shower, and they probably want to wait until this moves through before we officially start tonight's ball game. So we will send you back to studio programming, Indians Creating Memories. And just as soon as they pull the tarp and get ready for baseball, we'll have you back here at Progressive Field. You won't miss any of the action as the Indians pay tribute to Jim Thome here tonight. More to come in just a bit. on hand here to pay tribute to their former teammate. And Jimmy, in his remarks, made special mention of the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Indians, who made this trade possible for him to come back here to Cleveland. All right, as Masterson makes his warm-up tosses, well, let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting nine under manager Ron Gardenhire. At the top of the lineup will be Ben Revere, then it's Trevor Plouffe and Michael Kadire. Kadire is one of the only veteran players still in the lineup for these Minnesota Twins, just beleaguered by injuries all season long. Chris Parmelee, Luke Hughes, Brian Dinkelman in the middle, Rene Tassoni, Joe Benson, and Drew Butera.
Justin Masterson, his 33rd start of the year. He is 12-10 this year and a .315 earned run average. His last start came against Pavano and the Twins, and he got a win, number 12 in his last start. 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. He walked 1 and struck out 3. And on the year, he is 1-0. This is going to be his 5th start against Minnesota this year. He's pitched well every time. It's just that he only has 1 win. Let's take a look at the Indians' defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. Duncan in left, Carrera in center, Fukudomi in right, Chisenhall at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis at second, Laporte at first, with Marson doing the catching.
The umpires tonight, Al Porter, the home plate umpire. Andy Fletcher at first, Tim Welke at second, Jim Reynolds down at third. So we're all set to go here at Progressive Field. Ben Revere climbs in for Minnesota. This is a Twins ball club that comes in having won their last game in walk-off fashion yesterday, but they've lost 16 of their last 18 overall. And a first pitch strike from Justin Masterson. Minnesota 60-95 on the year. The Indians 77-78.
How many times have you seen that this year? First pitch slider from Masterson.
Not many.
No, that's a rarity. But with this guy, maybe he thought possibility of a bunt. This guy utilizes his legs, his speed.
Inside with the fastball, it's 2-1. Chisenhall in on the grass at third, as you see there. Little topper. Gonna be a tough play. Kipnis has to hurry, and he didn't get him. So an infield hit for Ben Revere.
Well, we told you his game is speed, and he shows you why. He doesn't hit the ball right at somebody. Laporta started for the ball, realized he wasn't going to get there, but by the time Kipnis can get it, you can see how Revere gets down the line very quickly. And he does beat it out. It'll go as an infield single.
Officially a rain delay of 27 minutes at the outset. Trevor Plouffe, the Twins shortstop. 33 stolen bases for Ben Revere, so Masterson wants to keep an eye on him.
Well, he set a new rookie record for the Twins. It was at 31. Luis Rivas had that. Ben Revere broke that record.
Missed inside, ball 1 to Trevor Plouffe. In there for a strike. 2 days ago, Plouffe had his first career 3-hit game against the Seattle Mariners. He went 3 for 5 with a double and a run batted in. He's had a pair of 7-game hitting streaks this year, setting and then equaling his career high. The 2-1. Foul back out of play to even the count. Minnesota got off to a rough start this year. They were 9-17 in the month of April. They didn't do much better in May, but they got hot in June. They went 17-9 in the month of June, and they were starting to make some headway in the American League Central Division. On July 17th, they won 3 out of 4 from Kansas City. They were within 5 games of the 500 mark and were within 5 games of first place. and then the bottom fell out. Runner goes, and a 3-2 fouled back. In the month of August, they went through a stretch where they lost 21 out of 26 games, and then, as I mentioned, they've lost 16 of their last 18 coming in tonight.
When you're talking about that charge they made, everybody was saying, okay, here come the Twins. They almost expected it, because Minnesota never goes away. They never go away and hide, but this year was a different kind of year for them. The injuries. Runner goes. High and foul and out of play. They even had 2 players going to the airport yesterday that got into their car accident. Denard Span and Valencia. And those guys can't play now because they, Span rear-ended Valencia? That's unbelievable.
It has been that kind of year. They've used 45 players this year. 23 pitchers, 22 position players. Now the set, once again, the runner goes, and the 3-2 is low, ball 4. So an inauspicious start to the game for Masterson, an infield hit, and now a walk to Plouffe. Take a look at our injury report tonight for the Indians, brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Shin-Soo Choo shut down for the year. Josh Tomlin, it was thought he might be able to come back and start on Saturday, but the Indians thought better of that, decided to shut him down for the rest of the year as well. Meanwhile, Michael Brantley should be ready to go for next year. He had the surgery on the hamate bone and is progressing well. You see Brantley there. Michael Kadire. He's got to be looking around that club now saying, who are these guys? Mauer, Morneau, Kubel,
We've
Span.
witnessed a year like that, back in the early 2000s where nothing went right and you had guys coming and going and you were introducing yourself to somebody new every day.
That was 2000. That was Charlie Manuel's first year as manager, and you're right, the Indians used at that time a franchise record number of different pitchers. And
yeah, wasn't it 34, 35 pitchers?
I want to say that sounds about right. Might have been even higher. We had guys, I remember there was a doubleheader where a guy came up and he was gone before the second game. 2 strikes on Kadire. Masterson deals. Slowly chopped to first. Laporta will tag the bag for out number 1. Revere to third. Plouffe goes to second. So Kadire moves the runners along for Chris Parmalee. Here's a young player who has made the most of his opportunities. He's coming in batting .388.
Yeah.
Now that only covers 14 games, but he's gone 19 for 49 at the plate.
Well, he had a good game against the Indians back in Minnesota, and he was a dead low ball hitter. I believe he had 4 hits in a game there. And like the ball down in the strike zone, knees and below.
A little bit outside for ball 1. Masterson delivers. Low and inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Indians with a 1.5 lead over Chicago for second place in the Central Division. White Sox are at home later tonight against Kansas City. And that's low 3-0. Masterson having all sorts of control problems here in the first. He's thrown 9 balls, 9 strikes. Luke Hughes waiting on deck. Right-handed hitter. And the 3-0 to Parmalee. He swings away, and it's a base hit into center field. That's going to get home Revere. Here comes Trevor Plouffe. He will score. And it's a 2-run single for Parmalee. He stays red hot at the plate. And the Twins grab a 2-0 lead.
Well, and you see Ron Gardenhire gives the rookie an opportunity on a 3-0 count to swing the bat, figuring, okay, if it's coming off Masterson, you're going to get a fastball. He does. It's right there. And he swings it, hits it up the middle. Base hit, so a 3-0. green light gives Minnesota a 2-0 lead in game number 1.
And the 20th pitch of the first inning hits Luke Hughes. So Masterson literally all over the place here in the first inning.
That was a slider. That was not even a fastball. That was a slider. He cut underneath it, and it gets him on the backside, so he will take his base. So this is certainly not the way that Justin wanted to start this ball game out.
There's Brian Dinkelman. Fouled back. Dinkelman playing in his 19th game. He's gone 20 for 57. That's a .351 average. All 20 of his hits have been singles. Does not have an extra base knock. Right now, Masterson would love to see a double play ball to get out of this inning. Bounced foul at first base. And the count 0-2.
That was close.
Two on, one out, 0-2 count. He's done some damage against the Indians in the 4 games played. Just missed with the off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. Dinkelman, a late swing and a miss, strikes out, 2 down. Looked like he was just trying to protect there and try to foul it off, couldn't get a piece of it.
Well, watch the movement on this pitch. Our Time Warner cable pitch tracker. That's great movement down and away. And the movement on there is so good that Marson couldn't even hold on to it. You see it caught him in the heel of the glove. That's how much movement that pitch had on it. But he gets out number 2 in his first strikeout.
Now a bouncing ball by Rene Tassoni, and Cabrera will throw him out. So Masterson minimizes the damage. Twins get a pair. Indians coming to bat. Lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Fukudome, Kipnis, and Cabrera at the top as Drupal is red hot right now. Then Jim Thome, Shelley Duncan, and Lonnie Chisenhall. Matt Laporta, Ezekiel Carrera, and Lou Marson.
Carl Pavano, 35-year-older, 6'5", 250. He's making his 32nd start. His record is 8-13 with a 440 earned run average. In his last start, he went 6 2/3, and it was one call that turned it against him. In that game, a 3-2 call that ended up walking him. He ended up coming out of the ball game after that play, and he got the loss. It was a tough way to go. He was really pitching very good up until that point, and he's pitched well against the Indians this year. Great changeup. You know, when we're a 3-2 pitch right there that was being called all game long. Look at him. That's exactly what he said all game long. Thome ended up getting an infield single. That did it for Pavano that night. Ended up taking a loss. So he's a control guy. You're going to have to use the whole field off him. He's got a very good changeup, and he'll spot his fastball inside like he did his last outing.
Missed inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fukudome, since August the 4th, has hit at a .273 clip with 11 doubles, 5 homers, and 19 runs batted in. Ooh, he just spoiled that one into the front row, right over the top of the Indians' dugout. And it looked like the fans, one lean left, one lean right, and they got out of the way.
Good thing. He led the game off yesterday with a home run. They've got this game started on the right note.
Downstairs, full count. And Fukudome with a ground ball by Hughes at third. So a single to start the game for Kosuke Fukudome.
Love that approach where he was convinced and convicted of going the other way because he wasn't sure whether he was going to get the fastball or the changeup. And look at Hughes over there at third base. It is wet out there, the track. He looks like he gets the fastball and goes the other way with it. It gets it under the glove, and he will start the game off with a base hit. Looks like a few rough conditions out there with the rain earlier.
Now Jason Kipnis. He's been pretty strong since coming off the DL. In his last 12 games, Kipnis is hitting .311 with 5 doubles, a homer, and 6 runs batted in.
No, he is really seeing the ball well at the plate. We talked about he's got good plate discipline. He's got good plate coverage. He hits the ball where it's pitched. And right now he's not trying to do too much. He's a great number 2 hole hitter. And you know what? He can run a little bit as well. He's got 2 bunt hits we witnessed. He had his first bunt hit back in Minnesota when they were playing back at third base and surprised him.
Fouls that off his foot, 2-2 the count. Well, you hope the Indians learn something from just facing Pavano in Minnesota in that he's not going to give in. So you've got to be patient. Well, you can't try to do too much against him.
This is a good test for him to see if they will make the adjustments compared to how he pitched last time. Because you know Pavano, he's not going to change until you do.
Runner goes. And on the 2-2, it's grounded to first. Parmley's only play will be at the bag. So Fukudome into scoring position now with 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot, Minnesota defense this evening. Behind Pavano, it looks like this. Benson in left, Rivera in center, Kadire is in right. Hughes at third, Bluefit short, Dinkelman at second, Parmalee at first with Butera behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
As Dribble Cabrera has 11 hits in his last 18 at bats. And he's out in front following that pitch off. Of those 11 hits, he has 3 homers and 10 runs batted in during his 4-game streak.
Well, it was Minnesota where he got that, he busted that slump. He was 0 for 20. Then got off, and what did he get, 4 hits in a game there? Or 3 or 4 hits in a game, and then he started to roll. And he has been on a roll ever since last weekend.
Checks on a ball that's down low.
Club record for shortstops now with 25 home runs, and you got to go back to 1948 for the number of runs driven in. Back then it was Lou Boudreau.
The 1-1. Popped him up. Foul. Might be playable. Hughes reaches in and makes the catch. 2 down. Now Jim Thome. Twins shift 3 on the right side. In the dirt, ball 1. Thome comes in with a 7-game hitting streak. His last home run came against these Twins in Minnesota at Target Field. Our Ion 4 Powerade rankings, fewest at bats per homer all time. There he is.
I'll tell you, all lefties except McGuire up there, all left-handed hitters.
Hit well deep down the left field line. Benson won't get it. One hops the wall. Jim Thome into second base with a 2-out RBI double. He gets the Indians on the board. .443 career 2-baggers.
Well, on the 1-1 pitch is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. A fastball that he was going to try and throw it down and away past Thome, but Jimmy stayed on it. Short hops a wall out in left field, so another double in his career. 443, you see, and the Indians are on the board, 2-1.
And now Shelley Duncan. Duncan currently 0 for 9, but he's another guy that of late has really been productive since August the 5th. So we're talking just about a month and a half. He's hit .283. He has scored 16 runs with 7 doubles and 7 home runs. That's ripped just foul. Came within a whisker of tying the game up. And he's down on the count 0-2. Good stop by Butera. And a ball and 2 strikes for Shelley Duncan. Strikes him out to end the inning. But Jim Thome with another highlight. An RBI double. He gets the Indians on the scoreboard. It's 2-1 Minnesota after 1. Mango Pineapple Real Fruit Smoothie has arrived. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T. Two-one Twins. And here in the second inning, Joe Benson leading off. Takes back-to-back strikes. It's 0-2. Jack Hanahan leaning in. Trevor Crow also listening, soaking up everything the veteran Jim Thome has to say as Benson strikes out on 3 pitches, 1 down here in the second.
No, he's just going over the pitch sequence that Pavana was probably going to throw to the left-handers, and they're sitting there listening.
Hey, the STO Celebrity Par 3 Shootout returns Sunday night at 10. This week, Austin Carr, Ron Harper, Bruce Drennan, and Tony Grossi will battle it out at Stonewater. The STO Par 3 Shootout Sunday at 10, right after the Golf Zone with Jimmy Hanlon here on STO. Drew Butera. Butera filling in for Joe Mauer. He was shut down for the rest of the season. Three and 0 the count. And that's outside, so he walks him on 4 straight.
Hard to figure,
Weird
isn't it?
night, isn't
a guy hitting $156 and you walk him on 4 straight pitches.
Well, he strikes out Benson on 3 pitches, and then he walks the next guy on 4.
It's hard to figure. I don't know.
He's still searching for it. He got out of trouble in the first inning. After giving up the 2 runs, there were still 2 on with only 1 out.
Well, he was all over the place. He's thrown 32 pitches, 15 balls, 17 strikes.
Ben Revere looks at a ball down low, and now Marson has to go out.
Well, the big man this year, mechanically, sometimes when you're as big as he is, you can get out of whack. And right now, the only thing I can think of that he may be doing is maybe rushing a little bit too much and trying to overthrow it early instead of just staying back and stay free and easy. Well, he did it the first 3 pitches of the inning.
Yeah. Finds the strike zone to even the count of 1-1.
Well, this guy got it started with an infield single. And it's amazing how, you figure a ball not even leaving the infield can get a rally started, but it did after the walk. And this is how Minnesota has to play with this lineup that they've been putting out there for quite some time. Their last in home runs, they only hit 97 this year. They haven't even reached the 100 mark.
Popped up on the 2-1 pitch. Chisenhall. 2 down. That will bring up Trevor Plouffe.
It was time to send out some birthday wishes. Patsy May of Dundee, Ohio is turning 70. Happy birthday, Patsy. Ryan Miller of Hudson is 23.
It's outside for ball 1 to Plouffe, who walked and scored in the first. Two balls, no strikes. Masterson has thrown 38 pitches so far, 19 balls, 19 strikes. The 2-0. Yanked to left. Duncan plays it off the wall. Flying into third base goes Butera, and into second with a 2-out double is Plouffe.
Yeah, that ball was smoked there. That was a line drive over the head. Nothing that Duncan was going to do about it there. He got a pitch to his liking. First extra base hit by the Twins. Third of the ball game. Watch this one. That's got to be middle of the plate, located on our Time Warner Cable pitch tracker, and it gets out of there in a hurry.
Well, that pitch didn't have anything on it, 90 miles an hour, and for Masterson, that's a get-me-over fastball.
Right. Get me over fastball, and it was middle of the plate, and they get hurt.
Now Michael Kadire, who bounced out to first base his first time up. Way outside. Ball one. You wonder when a pitcher gets into a kind of a bad funk like this, if it almost feels like your arm isn't even attached to your body. Because he's not missing by a little. He's missing by a bunch on some of these pitches. That finds the plate, 1-1. And you're out there, it's got to be a lonely feeling when you're searching for it,
when
too.
You're battling to throw strikes, I'm sure it is a lonely feeling. I was never a pitcher like that, especially at this level, but you know, you're on an island when you're out there on that mound because nothing works until you throw the baseball.
And you got Kadire to chase one there, and he's ahead in the count.
You know, that's what Lou Marston's doing. He's mixing up his pitches. He's trying to get him through this thing until he can get command of the fastball, which is his bread and butter.
Kadire pulls it to left. Duncan back and makes the catch. Oh, another rocky inning. Masterson survives here in the second. Does not allow a run. Twins on top 2-1. Bottom of the second inning. Tried down a run, 2-1. Lonnie Chisenhall, Matt Laporta, and Ezekiel Carrera.
Well, you look at that Boston-New York game, man, that's already postponed.
Yeah, the Mets were rained out at home. Are they at home, too? That's weird that they would both be home at the same time.
Yeah, that's a rarity, but it does happen.
I think the Mets, they were at home, rained out as well. Bounced in the hole and a base hit for Lonnie Chisenhall to start the second inning.
What a way to get up there, look early in the count. That pitch was a pretty darn good pitch. Chisenhall able to get a good piece of it and find the hole between first and second. That ball was down. That's why he hit it on the ground, but he found a hole. Third hit for the Tribe. Had the leadoff man aboard in the first, and Fukudome came around to score.
Here's Matt Laporta. He's hit in 5 straight games. make it 6 straight. Just past the diving Ben Revere. Coming around third. Chisnall's going to be waved home with the tying run. He will score. And into second base, you saw sliding in there is Matt Laporta. So if Matt Laporta's now hitting 6 straight, and in that 6-game hitting streak, he has 4 doubles.
Well, I'll tell you, Chisenhall got a very good read. He was taken off. He was just assuming that ball was not going to get caught. And you never know out there because, I'll tell you, Rivera can cover some ground. And you see it gets underneath, and as he's coming around third, he almost tripped. I don't know if the bag was wet or whatever, but Smitty was waving him around. Here he comes. He read it beautifully. Watch, he comes around and almost trips around third, able to keep his balance and scores. So we have a tie ball game. Laporta, the RBI double.
Ezekiel Carrera bunts it back over the screen.
He had a very good read off the bat.
Carrera has hit in 6 straight games. Gone 7 for 19. Tries to bunt it up the third baseline. It stays fair. Butera jumps on it and just does throw him out.
You know, he was going to let that go foul, and then he decided, I can't wait much longer. He was forced to pick it up and at least throw it, and that's why he almost made a wild throw. So give Cabrera the sacrifice, getting him in the third. Watch, he was going to let it go, but then he says, nope, right there, I've got to pick it up. Fires a Pete on the first base.
Infield in now for Minnesota with 1 out and a runner at third, Lou Marson. Lou in the month of September batting .288. He has driven in a half dozen runs here in September.
Hey, remember when we were talking about Carmona pitching the other day, you have a man on third base in a situation like this, and I reverted back to Pavano.
Go to the windup.
He's going to the windup. Yep. You have a man on third base, but watch, he'll get his sign, he'll look to third, and then he'll go to the plate. But I would like to see more guys do that. I think they're more effective out of the windup than they are the stretch.
Does the speed of the runner at third have any impact?
It may. Yes,
if you've got a real flyer down there.
Some pitchers may not like to go out of the windup. They're just more comfortable going out of the stretch. But I'll tell you, I'd rather see some guys, a pitcher, go out of the full windup. I think they're more effective to the hitter. It's more deceiving, tougher to pick up.
The 3-1 pitch. Marson bounces it right to the shortstop, and Laporta has to hold. 2 down. On a 3-1 pitch, Marson grounds out, and there are 2 down for Kosuke Fukudome. Let's get a look at the AT&T trivia question tonight. 3 players have had 6 or more seasons of 40 homers, 100 ribbies, and 100 walks. Whew, that's a lot to digest. We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Fukudome looks at a ball downstairs. He singled and scored in the first. Takes a strike. That'll even the count. In off the plate. Hard ground ball right at Dinkelman at second. And the inning is over. But Matt Laporta's RBI double has tied the game at 2 as we go to the third. Luke Hughes and Brian Dinkelman for Minnesota here in inning number 3.
Those are the hats we saw in Minnesota last week.
Yeah.
Remember that? But that's an Indian hat. Okay, they got to sell them at the team shop.
Ready for snow days.
Yes, indeed. Before you know it,
don't even start, please.
Just another month and this rain would be snow.
Tell you what, my son forgot his football pants when he went to school this morning, so I walked him over to the school. It was cold, and it was gray, and all I can think of is,
here we come.
Winter's not far off, man. It's going to be here in no time. Chris Parmalee drove in a pair in the first for Minnesota.
Tell Max I'm a little surprised at him, man. Game day, and he's forgetting the drawers already.
He didn't actually forget them, but, he had to get to school, and the pads weren't in the pants. They weren't ready to go, so I said, I'll take care of it and bring them over.
Okay, Max. I got to have a talk with you. Is he playing tonight or tomorrow?
It was just for practice. There's a long drive. Deep right field. Chris Parmalee has just left the yard. That's his 3rd home run. He is 2 for 2, and he stays red hot at the dish for Minnesota. For Parmalee, that's now 21 hits in 51 at-bats.
Tell you what, these kids are getting an opportunity. And they come back and they have a response run that they throw on the board after the Indians come right back and tie it up. The first hitter of the inning. Let's look at the location. Time Warner Cable pitch tracker down. Boom. I'll tell you what, that kid is a good low ball hitter. He's swinging the bat with a little authority, so he gives the Twins a 3-2 lead. 3rd homer.
Now Luke Hughes hit by a pitch his first time up. Checks on a ball outside.
Well, the Lobster told us that Justin's been behind 9 of the 13 batters that he has faced. It's good work.
At the knees on the outside corner. Strikes him out. 3rd K tonight for Masterson. And let's check in right now with our Katie Witham.
Well, guys, tonight we've got a Jim Thome fireworks celebration. Tomorrow will be the last fireworks show of the year. You've got to see it. It's going to be a good one set to the Star Wars soundtrack. They'll even have some of the characters from the movie out here for you to meet. You can get tickets right now as low as $8. Log on to Indians.com. Matt, Rick, back up to you guys.
Well, we're going with caps. We got to.
Yes, we can.
We need a cap day.
She's trying to outdo us right there. She's got the STL cap on. What's yours?
Base hit for Dinkelman. I don't know. We got these new Thome hats up here. We might have to break those out.
600 homer hats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we get those snow hats, snow days hats. Fire those on.
I'll take the 600 homer hat. Thank you.
I don't think the headset will fit over the other one with the tassel on top. Rene Tassoni grounded to short his first time up and takes the ball outside. One ball, one strike. Two balls and a strike. You know, Rick, talking with Jim Thome before the game today, he was asked, and he's been asked a number of times, what's your most memorable moment in an Indians uniform? And most people are thinking, which home run, some kind of a hit.
I know what it is.
His most memorable moment is catching the ball in foul territory at third base.
September 9th.
When the Indians clinched the division championship.
Against Baltimore.
In 1995, yeah.
You know, that's one of my best memories in this ballpark because it was over 40 years. Yeah. Since something like that happened. And that was a really special moment. I remember it like it was yesterday.
2-2 fouled away. been so long since we've seen him play in the field. He's been a DH now for the last several years of his career. But
and back then it was third base.
He worked very hard at third base. He worked extremely hard when he moved over to first base after they acquired Matt Williams in 1997. He was by no means a one-dimensional player throughout much of his career. Only when the back injuries really took their toll did he give up playing
defensively. There's some players that just don't take the DH. You know what I mean? That once they play a position, they don't hit as well if they're not playing a position.
Yep.
He was able to put that aside.
The 3-2 runner goes, and it's ball 4. Third walk for Masterson. He's also hit a batter tonight. The first home run in the career of Jim Thome came at old Yankee Stadium.
Upper Tank, baby.
Steve Farr of New York.
Look at it. Doesn't even look like the same guy.
Number 6.
Who's that? Lou Merson?
Look at all that hair. He also referenced another memorable moment. He said, and it's one that people don't recall, but he said it was a home run he hit at old Cleveland Stadium. And he said, I have all these flashbacks, these memories of where my career started, which was at the old stadium on the lakefront. And he said, what I remember about it is coming around third, touching home, and going back to the dugout, and his mom and dad were sitting in the box seats right by the on-deck circle.
Right.
So he said to see my mom and dad's face after hitting a home run, right there in attendance.
And you were running right into the dugout.
Yeah,
and they were sitting right there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Caught the outside corner, 1-1.
Back in the old ball, but that's where they used to have the field announcer on the field. He wasn't up in a booth. He was sitting down there over near the third base dugout announcing the whoever's hitting and what's going on.
The 1-1 pitch. Broke his bat. Bounced to third. Chisenhall goes to second. They get the force there. Throw to first. Laporta couldn't dig it out. And a run's going to score. I think they had a chance to turn the double play there, but the throw was in the dirt, and Matt couldn't dig it out at first. And the Twins are now up 4-2.
I'll tell you, if that ball is picked, it's a double play.
Yep.
And that's a heck of a play. Did you see how quickly Chisenhall got rid of it? Here comes the bat, and it was off in a hurry. He got to throw. It might have been a little high. But you see, Kipnis had his feet taken out. As Benson goes down the line hard, if Matt picks it, he's out. But I'm not saying it was an easy pick by any means. That was a tough play. That ball, runner got down onto his feet a little bit, and he couldn't get enough on the throw.
That falls under the category of tough error.
Well, it is, but it goes as an error because the runner scores from third base. It was a nicely made play. It just didn't work out.
Bounce to third. Fair ball. Long throw. Laporta this time eats it up. And the inning is over. But Minnesota with a pair here in the third are back on top 4-2. Don't know how many the rain might have kept away, but probably not too many. Foul back out of play. Kipnis looks, it's low, 1-1. And Kipnis continues to show a good disciplined eye at the plate, lays off a ball just a little bit outside. 40th pitch of the night here for Pavano. Spun him out of the way, 3-1. And he walks to lead off the third. And that's only the 40th walk issued by Pavano this year. Meanwhile, is Drupal Cabrera coming to the plate, and it seems like every time he swings the bat, he's setting another record. With more on that, here's Katie Witham.
Well, guys, I spoke with Asdrubal earlier, and he told me he would not have had the season he's had this year if it wouldn't be for Orlando Cabrera. Not only did this guy show him what it means to be a leader, but he's also the reason you've seen so much power from him at the plate. He told me that Orlando pulled him over in spring training and asked him, hey, why aren't you hitting more home runs? Then went on to show him exactly how to break down a count and when he can really swing for the fences. And he said he's been the influence that he needed this season.
From one Cabrera to another. 1-0 pitch. Down low. And Butera is going to go out to talk to Pavano. This is rare for him. He does not usually fall behind and walk people very often.
That was number 25 last night. You talk about dropping the bat head on a low fastball. He's an excellent low ball hitter. Came back up in his next at bat. They threw him the slider, and he raked it through the hole for 2 more RBIs after that.
Most home runs in a single season by an Indian shortstop.
You know, it's one thing when somebody tells you, a player or something, go ahead, man. When you get a chance, take your shot. But hitting him and squaring it up and doing it is another thing.
But don't you think that's what Orlando Cabrera saw? He saw a guy who had that potential and said, hey, man, take your shot.
Right. Well, yeah, a guy that's been around, because the other Cabrera, Orlando, he wasn't a home run guy at all.
There's a pretty long fly to deep left. Benson on the track at the wall. He made a terrific catch. And around second, Kipnis had to retouch the bag and bolt back to first. One down, a long, loud out by Cabrera.
Here's a play where he had another step, you know, not being his home ballpark. He's jumping. He expected that wall to be there a step or two before. He should have taken one more peek back. But, I mean, he made a nice catch. Ended up holding on to the ball, gets it back in. And they retire Cabrera.
Here's Jim Thome. An RBI double to left his first time up. For those of you who may have missed it earlier, right now on the scoreboard, they've got a shot of what the artist's rendering of the Jim Thome statue would look like when that is eventually built. And that will happen once Jim Thome officially retires as a player. Here's a drive to deep center. Revere back, running out of room. It's gone. Jim Thome with another incredible chapter in his storybook career. On the night they pay tribute to him here at Progressive Field, he hits another mammoth home run.
And hits it exactly where that statue is going to be. How about that? Oh, boy. What a nice trot around the bases that was. You think those kids in that dugout are amazed now?
I got a feeling a curtain call is coming.
Absolutely. Why not? How great is that?
It's like the movies. Incredible. Duncan with a high chopper to short. Plouffe throws him out, 2 down. This is like so many of the home runs we've seen Jim Thome hit in his career.
And I mean, he hits it where it is going to be, and that's where that statue, they're going to put it out there, out in Heritage Park. Home run replay brought to you by Great Clips. Great needs, great deeds, great clip. And that's a great clip right there.
With regards to that statue, the reason they're erecting that statue in the spot that they've chosen is because that's where the longest home run he hit in this ballpark landed. It glanced off the side of the bleachers,
right,
and landed over in the corner of what is now Heritage Park.
That's the longest home run in Progressive Field history, or back in the Jacobs Field history. It's the longest one ever hit here. And he tried to go out there again.
That's what those people came to see tonight, and he did not disappoint. I mean, that's just amazing.
Well, 3 RBIs. He's got the double and the dinger already. He tied the ball game up.
Lonnie Chisenhall takes strike 3 called. The inning is over, but not before Jim Thome gives us one more thrill. A 2-run blast to straightaway center. Back to even as we go to the 4th inning. Top of the order for Minnesota. And Ben Revere looks at a ball outside.
These two teams are answering one another after they score. The only 1-0 on the board was the Twins back in the 2nd inning.
Bounce to second. Kipnis throws him out, 1 away. The longest home run ever hit in this ballpark, July 3rd, 1999. Hits the side of the bleachers and
look at that.
Left the ballpark.
Yeah, almost at that That fence out there was another fastball. This one wasn't quite as far, but it was heading in the same direction,
Sure
wasn't
was.
it?
And this isn't exactly what you would call ideal conditions. It's cool and damp.
It doesn't matter with him. He could have hit. He could hit him anywhere, anytime. We never heard of the wind blowing in right center field back in the 90s, did we? It seemed like the ball always carried out that way when we had hitters like that.
Like you said, I don't think it would have mattered.
No.
Could have been a hurricane blowing in. Two balls, two strikes. And he strikes him out, 2 down. 4 Ks for Masterson. As he tries to mow him down 1, 2, 3 now here in the 4th inning.
There's a little comeback on that fastball at 92. Right on the outside edge. Good pitch. Comes up empty.
Boy, didn't miss by much, just a tad low. That's the 76th pitch of the night for Justin. And it evens the count at 2-2. Topper foul. And Kadire keeps following him off, staying alive. Full count. High fly ball, left field, playable for Duncan. And he makes it. Oh, he didn't make the catch. I think Ezekiel Carrera, either, I don't know if he touched him or not, but he certainly distracted him.
He messed with him, man. And let him catch the ball. He's all the way. Go behind him, but you don't mess with the guy when he's going to catch it. Duncan was right there, and it still shouldn't have bothered him. But he was running back there to back him up. And watch, I mean, it's a routine play. Just catch the ball, get out of the way. I mean, he felt him coming. I guarantee he felt that body presence. Going to take his eye off of it. Shouldn't, you know, at the last minute he made him call for it. He felt him coming. That's got to go as an error. That's going to go as an error on Duncan, although interference right there on Carrera.
And more pitches for Masterson. He's now over 80 on the night.
I mean, I understand how you're going to go over there and you know, go behind him, but it just...
It's like the old halo rule on punts in the NFL. He was inside the halo.
Well, you just leave him alone and let him catch it. It was a routine
Especially
play.
when he was already under the ball.
Sure, it's a routine play. But that's what happens when you got guys, you know, going out there and you have different outfielders every day.
Good pitch in for a strike.
Yes, it was a good pitch. You're going to have to make good pitches to this guy because he's been swinging it, especially against the Indians.
The 1-2. Chop towards third. Chisenhall pulls Laporte off the bag, but he tags the runner to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Tied at 2.
Not like they were both running for it. I'm glad. That's what you have to do. You got to communicate. It was a lack of communication out there. I blame Carrera for coming over to him. When you're standing right there, there's no need for that to happen when you're underneath the ball. So that's okay. Get it straightened out. Never let it happen again. That's embarrassing.
Matt Laporta, an RBI double his first time up tonight. Tell you one thing, if Shelley Duncan was mad at me, all I'd be saying is, yes, sir, Mr. Duncan, yes, sir.
Well, I'd be mad, too. I would absolutely be mad. I mean, you're out there, it's your ball, and it's just a situation that happened, but I'm glad to see he went in and he took care of it. You discuss it, give me a break. After all, it was straightaway left field. I mean, I would have even let Grover caught that if I was in center when he was out there.
No, let's not go too far.
I would have let Grover catch it.
He's sitting over there in his suite.
I see him. I wish he was listening.
That's what I was thinking. I wish he could have heard that.
Oh, he doesn't listen to us. Are you kidding me?
Another base hit for Laporta. He's 2 for 2 tonight as he lines a single into right field. And the Indians now every inning have had their leadoff man aboard, and so far
they've scored. Every
inning they've scored.
Yeah.
Our minor league report brought to you by Kia. Chun Chen put together a pretty solid season. The Akron Arrows with 16 home runs, drove in 60. Here is Ezekiel Carrera. Then he fouls one over toward the Indians' dugout.
Couple more birthday wishes. Judith Braxton of Ashtabula is turning 11. Happy birthday, Judith. Nathaniel Adkins of Ney, Ohio is 7. Happy birthday.
Bloop toward left, but right there to grab it is Benson, one down. Let's go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update right now. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, let's go down to Florida where the Rays are taking on the Blue Jays. Tampa Bay just 2 games behind Boston in the wild card tonight, but so far things aren't going well for David Price. Home run here by Kelly Johnson, his 3rd with the Jays, and Toronto leads this one 5-0. 6th inning. Back to you, Matt.
Here's Lou Marson. Grounded to short his first time up with the infield in and a runner at 3rd. No balls, 2 strikes. One of the other things that Jim Thome said before the game tonight, he said, you know, sometimes I'll be just sitting in the dugout and I'll look down and I'll see Sandy Alomar coaching at first base, and he said something will just pop into my mind, a memory.
Yeah.
He said the other day that we were reminiscing in the outfield during batting practice about the home run that Sandy hit off Mariano Rivera. You know, that's stuff that we talk about as fans, that we watched and we relish and reminisce about, but here's 2 guys that lived it. And they're still talking about it all these years later.
Why
too.
not? I remember it well.
Never forget it.
Well, happy 50th anniversary to Don and Jane Panachek of Akron. And we got to send out a special hello to Carolyn Arnold of Shelby, Ohio, who's a huge Tribe fan. Carolyn, we hope you're doing well.
The 1-2. Grounded between 3rd and short. Hughes goes to 2nd for 1. The relay not in time. And 2 down. '95 World Series, Game 5. Jim Thome, the homer and the flip. The infamous flip. The guy who never showed much emotion on the field, but that bat flip basically was a message he sent to the Braves that said, we're not going to go away quietly. That was another mammoth home run, by the way. He didn't hit many wall scrapers, did he?
No. I mean, you know, when you think about them, all the ones that he hit, if they were line shots. He missed them. Because his were towering. He'd get underneath him, and they had so much carry to them. You know, not many guys hit home runs like that. Usually, home runs come by a byproduct of a good at-bat and their line drives, you know. And sometimes home run balls you miss them. You miss underneath, and he's just so darn strong that it just keeps going.
I remember, too, Charlie Manuel's first year as manager back in 2000, the Indians would have extra hitting, you know, for the guys who don't get to play much, basically.
They'd
is what
hit
it's for.
every day back
Jim
then.
Thome showed up every time for early extra hitting.
Yeah, they'd hit every day. No question. That was the most hitting team I've ever seen.
I don't think he could ever hit enough either. And here's a guy who was already well established by 2000.
They all seem to do that.
He just, if you had extra batting practice, he was there. Part of that was a byproduct of his relationship with Charlie Manuel. That's the way Charlie taught, and Jimmy soaked it all up. Two balls and a strike for Fukudome. Jim was asked before the ball game too about if he would consider coaching, if that's something that, you know, he would be interested in, and he said, "Boy, I haven't even given that a thought at this point."
I can't see him being a coach. Just can't see him doing it.
Bounce to first. They call it a fair ball. Parmalee tags the bag. And we'll go to the 5th. All tied at 4. Panini's. Like Panini's franchise group on Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. 4-4, fifth inning here at Progressive Field. Indians and the Twins all knotted up. Luke Hughes, Brian Dinkelman, Rene Tassoni for Minnesota. He almost offered at that to bunt, but Hughes able to pull it back in time for ball one. This scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. Boy, the Tampa Bay Rays are scuffling in their quest to try and win that wild card. They're losing at home to Toronto 5-0 in the seventh inning as Hughes draws a walk. Red Sox were already rained out tonight in their game against the Yankees. Elsewhere, the White Sox getting pounded at home tonight by Kansas City. Royals lead at 7-0. They have 10 hits in the game already.
They can hit, boy. They can certainly hit.
Outside, it's ball one to Dinkelman. Detroit-Baltimore tied 3-3. They're already in the eighth inning at Comerica Park. Texas shutting out Seattle. They're in the fourth, 3-0 Rangers. That's a battle for the second best record in the American League.
Yeah, that's right. Texas-Detroit tied.
That becomes important because
boy, it certainly
determines
does
who you're going to end up playing.
Yeah, if you stay home or you're going to go to New York, there's a lot at stake.
Yeah, the winner between those two gets the wild card, and they, as you say, they'll stay home. The loser has to go to the Big Apple, unless the Yankees.
No,
let's see. The Yankees need one win to
they're
clinch home field.
Pretty much a lock.
Well, Masterson's lost it again. Just when it looked like he was starting to lock in. He should have had a 1-2-3 fourth, but the error forced him to have to face one more batter. And now he's walked the first two here in the fifth, and the Indians' bullpen is about to get busy.
Well, that's the fourth time this year that he has walked five guys in a game. You got to go back to April 20th. He did it against the Royals. May 29th, he did it against Tampa, which was a loss. And he also did it in a loss against Detroit on June 14th. Well, you don't want to miss the first hockey game in Progressive Field history and the first ever outdoor college hockey game in the state of Ohio. It's the Frozen Diamond face-off between Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. That'll be Sunday, January 15th. Register online and the chance to purchase tickets before the general public. That's visit Indians.com/snowdays. And I will be driving the Zamboni in between periods.
Frank Herman is up loosening. I think they've got two guys up in that bullpen. Corey Kluber. Is that Corey Kluber, I believe? Rene Tassoni takes a strike. One ball, one strike. Ouch.
You know, sometimes, and Masterson has mentioned it before, I don't know where the ball's going. I throw it and I just have no clue where it's going. It's been a rarity for him this year, but look at that, hit him. It does happen. So he has totally lost it in this inning.
Second batter he's hit tonight.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised as soon as that bullpen gets warm if Manny Acta doesn't make a move. I mean, he tried the slider. He's been having a tough time, and it's going to come back and get him on the back knee. So he has certainly gift-wrapped an inning here with 2 walks, a hit batter, nobody out in Minnesota with the bases loaded.
Last year, Justin pitched 180 innings in the season. He's at 215 now on the year.
I think if you're a Twin, you just sit up there and you just watch right now. There's no need in getting aggressive because he is having a difficult time. See, you make him.
He got him to chase one.
Well, he's searching right now, and as these young hitters, you don't help him out because one swing like that could, get him back a little confidence. He could have been buried in the count 2-0. Hitters always think that the pitcher's going to come back and throw one down the middle, but he is struggling to find the strike zone.
Bases are loaded for Minnesota. Nobody out. And it's 2-2. His next pitch will be number 100 for Justin on the night. And the 2-2. Chop back to the mound. He comes home. There's one. Throw down to first. Double play. Boy, is that huge for Masterson. A 1-2-3 double play. Runners at second and third with 2 out now and a chance to get out of the inning.
Boy, you couldn't have ordered anything any better than what just happened right there. A one-hopper to Masterson. The runner couldn't come down and take the feet away from Lou Marson. And you get the 1-2-3 double play and a chance to get out of the inning.
Now he's got Drew Butera, who he walked on 4 pitches in the second inning. Got him to ground out back in the third. Two balls, no strikes. Swung on and missed. See a light mist falling once again here at Progressive Field. Oh, a beautiful pitch, perfectly placed, and it's 2-2. That's what's been so crazy about this night. At times he can't find home plate, and then other times he makes just perfect pitches.
Unhittable pitches. That was one right there that just painted the outside corner.
And the 2-2. Just a little bit wide and maybe a tad low, full count. Leadoff hitter Ben Revere would be next. Second and third, 2 down. Tied at 4 here in the 5th. Rain falling. Payoff pitch. A walked him ball 4. Third walk in the inning for Masterson. They're loaded again, and that's going to be it. Maniac is going to pull the plug.
Well, it's a 6th walk, and it looks like a season high to me.
Just a thoroughly frustrating night for Justin Masterson, who has been so good all season long, but just didn't have it tonight. so he will leave with the bases loaded and 2 down here in the 5th inning as the Indians make the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world.
Now, again, you know what? It will not happen again. There we're going over this situation. Routine fly ball. You see where Carrera came over and actually interfered with Duncan, even though he still should have caught the ball. But he scared him, man. And it was a routine play. They go in, discuss it. About an inning or two later, you think about it and you go over it. But, point well taken. Everything's said, done, out of the way, taken care of.
All right, here's Frank Herrmann. He comes into a bases loaded 2-out situation facing Ben Revere. And a fastball up high for ball 1. Finds the strike zone to even the count of 1-1. Twins had them loaded with nobody out. Joe Benson hit into a 1-2-3 double play. Then another walk reloaded him, and that was it for Masterson. Fouled off the facing of the Tribe dugout, sent him scattering. And it's 1-2. Royals continue to lay it on Chicago. 9-zip in the 5th. Frank Herrmann, the 1-2 pitch. Out of play. Frank takes a long look in. Lou Marson going through the signs. And the 1-2 is popped up. Foul. Marson. He's to the on-deck circle, and he's got it to end the inning. So the Twins leave them loaded. They do not score. Jim Thome due up third when we come back. All right, bottom of the 5th inning here at Progressive Field. Tribe and the Twins knotted up at 4 apiece. Indians already into their bullpen. Carl Pavano, 72 pitches under his belt so far. Some folks taking a little refuge from the rain, although it looks like the rain has dried up for the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty much stayed away. It came about a little bit right around 7 o'clock for about 25 minutes.
Kipnis might have chased one that time. Bounces out, one away. Trivia question answer time, courtesy of AT&T. 6 or more seasons of 40 homers, 100 ribbies, 100 walks.
One's got to be Mr. Tomey. How about Bonds? And how about the Babe?
All right, there you go.
Oh, yeah, the left-handers, there you go, is right. You know, when you walk 100 times a year and you can still hit 40, that's squaring it up when you get a strike.
Barry Bonds, I want to say one year he had 160 walks one year.
Oh, yeah.
190 maybe. It was some ridiculous number.
200. He was over 200 one year where they walked him intentionally almost 80 times.
Yeah.
It was scary.
As Drupal Cabrera flied to deep left his last time up. Joe Benson, the left, made a very nice catch to take extra bases away from Drupal. Yeah, he might have chased one there. 3rd strikeout for Pavano. 2 down here in the 5th. A great clip of the night. Jim Tomey homering when he came back to Cleveland. That was his first home run back with the Tribe. Relax here at Great Clips. And here tonight he hit a 2-run bomb in the 3rd. And that electrified this crowd. What a moment. What a moment indeed. He hit an RBI double in the 1st and a 2-run homer in the 3rd. Checked his swing. This might work for another hit. And it will. He's 3 for 3.
Look at Pavano looking at him.
Wheels Tomey with the infield single.
Now, he had one against Pavano the last time he pitched against him in Minnesota. Remember, his bat shattered, went everywhere, and it was an infield. It was an infield single. So he checks his swing there, and when you play that shift, that turns out like a bunt. But, he was just watching it all the way. Look at that. Check swing, and he knows that no one's going to get there. Unfortunately, there's 2 outs.
Now here's Shelley. Here's Shelley Duncan coming up.
All right. Tomey's only a triple away from the cycle. What would you do if he hit the cycle today? I mean, the outfielders would have to collide and fall down. And the infielders still would have a chance to maybe go get it.
We need unconscious outfielders for that to happen.
I'd need oxygen up here. I'd pass out.
You know, he led the Indians in triples one year in
Yes,
1996.
Yep. Stopped the string that Kenny Lofton
That's
had.
right.
That's why I'm saying it
I
could
got to
happen.
go back and look and see, how did that happen? Because even in his heyday, he wasn't exactly fast. Now the 2-0 to Shelley Duncan. And he bounces it to 3rd. Routine play there. That'll end the inning. 5 complete. We are tied at 4. Trevor Plouffe walked and scored in the first, doubled in the second, struck out in inning number 4. That's smoked foul. Look out down below. It skipped through the crowd. Four runs on 5 hits for Minnesota. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Indians. Frank Herman fires it in there for a strike. And the count is 1-2. Hit pretty well, deep center. Back goes Carrera. On the track. Makes the catch. And that's out number 1. Our recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Jim Thome with an RBI double. Got the Tribe on the board in the first. And then Chris Parmelee's solo homer put Minnesota up 3-2 in the third. Jim Thome's 2-run homer tied it in the bottom half of the third. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Michael Kadire, 0 for 3 tonight. Threw it by him, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Slashes it in the hole. Kipnis long throw. Herman's covering. Not in time.
Well, good try.
It sure was a heck of an effort on everybody's part.
It really was. That ball just got under the glove of Laporta. Kipnis makes a nice running try. He spins the throw. Herman was over there. It was really a well executed play. It's just that Kadire beats it out. Out comes Manny Acta to make a change. Look at that. Just beats it. So good try.
1 on, 1 out here in the 6th. A pitching change. Game tied at 4. We are tied up at 4. And Minnesota has a man at first with 1 out in the 6th inning. And left-hander Rafael Perez coming out of the Tribe bullpen. 69th appearance on the year. 5 wins, 2 losses, a 2.95 ERA. This guy's due for a pretty good raise in the offseason, and it will be interesting to see what the Indians decide to do.
Well, I'd like to see, you'd love to see him keep this bullpen intact. This has been the backbone of it. And Perez, he's one of those guys that I guarantee you won't miss until he's gone. Because he comes in and it doesn't matter what the score, he seems to do his job. This year, I think he's given up just 1 home run to opposition.
Well, he can
two.
He can fill some different roles too.
Oh.
He can be a left-on-left one-guy matchup dude if you want. He can pitch multiple innings. He can pitch when you're behind in the game, when you have the lead.
Well, yeah, but most of the time he comes in to hold it right there, get you some tough outs, and he's the first lefty out of the bullpen. So here you are, you're in the 6th inning. He's facing a tough lefty. This kid has been swinging the bat very well. He homered back in the 3rd inning. And he swung the bat very well against the Indians.
And just missed. 1-1 the count. Looked pretty good. Whoa, almost threw it away.
Now, really, there's no reason for him to go over and make that throw. Dyer's not going to steal a base. I mean, he's going to take off on first movement. Concentrate on the guy you have to get out here, and that's the man at the plate. He doesn't have a very good move. You can just hold it, and he won't run.
Back over the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. How about the Royals? They have 14 hits through 5 innings in Chicago. They lead the White Sox 9-0. Toronto continues to shut out Tampa down in St. Petersburg 5-0. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Tigers and Orioles still tied at 3. They could be headed to extras in the Motor City. Texas shutting out Seattle 5-0 in the 6th. Bounce to second. Kipnis to Cabrera onto Laporta for an inning-ending double play. Rafael Perez gets a 2 for the price of 1 ball. RBI double his first time up, and then a 2-run homer to straightaway center field in the third. Lonnie Chisenhall takes a strike. 1 for 2 with a single. Yanks it down the right field line. He's going for extra bases. And Chisenhall into second base with a leadoff double. And that's 5 out of the 6 innings. The Indians have had their leadoff man aboard here tonight.
It's been a pretty good formula for him. Get that leadoff man aboard, and you love it. That's a good breaking ball, look like. Down into the corner. Chisenhall pulls it. So you started off with an extra base hit. Now you get him over and get him in. You always like to start with that double. That is the 8th hit for the Indians. They have the home run and 3rd double now.
And a line drive single into center field. Chisenhall coming around third, going to be waved home. Revere's throw is tried to cut it off, but scoring is Lonnie Chisenhall. And Matt Laporta with his 2nd RBI of the night, his 3rd hit in the ball game, and the Indians have the lead at 5-4.
Well, they've made certainly made an adjustment this time around against Carl Pavano, and Laporta didn't waste any time. He jumped on a high fastball and took it right back up the middle. I know he was concentrating on maybe going the other way, but he put a nice aggressive swing on that baseball. So the very next pitch after the double, the Indians come back. They will take a 5-4 lead. Matt Laporta is 3 for 3 tonight.
Indians' first lead of the night. And now Carrera, another bunt foul. A little swinging bunt. Pavano off balance throw to first. Got him. Nice play by Pavano. Laporta goes into scoring position with 1 out now.
This is a very nice play. Going to the bare hand. This is better than the bunt. The swinging bunt. Pavano has to go with the bare hand. He turns and makes an accurate throw to retire Carrera, but Laporta gets into scoring position. Now 1 out. Give Marson a chance.
Phil Dumatre warming now for Minnesota. Lou Marson 0 for 2 steps to the plate. And a base hit into right field. Coming around third, Laporta gets the stop sign. Kadire has a great throwing arm.
Oh, yeah.
And the 3rd hit of the inning. The Indians with runners at the corners and 1 out.
Well, we may see the bullpen now because they are all over Carl Pavano. They have really made the adjustment this game. 10 hits. You're going into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Lou Marson gets a ball. That one is not where he wanted it. But you're going back to the top of the lineup now for the 4th time. And he does have the left-hander ready. So he's going to give Carl a chance to get that ground ball double play to try and get out of the inning.
And Kosuke Fukudome is 1 for 3. Twice he has grounded out. He singled and scored back in the 1st. And it's down low, ball 1. Fukudome says he has enjoyed his time playing with the Indians, although of playing in Cleveland, he said, a lot of bugs here.
Tell him there wasn't as many. It was a wet summer.
Right.
Wait till it dries out.
He didn't like that call. He's down on the count now, 1-2.
Yeah.
Laporta and Marson aboard. And now Fukudome with
got
a
it.
tailor-made double
He
play
sure
ball.
did.
So that ends the inning, but the Indians take the lead. Matt Laporta's third hit of the night has the Tribe on top 5-4.
On top 5-4 right now. It is the top of the 7th inning. Tomorrow, a full day of baseball. We've got a doubleheader. Game 1 starts at 1:05. All the kids can get in free. Go online and get your tickets now for that. And then Sunday, it is the final home game of the season. We have KeyBank Kids Fun Day going on. The first 7,000 kids will receive a free drawstring backpack. It's also Fan Appreciation Day. Some of you lucky fans out there will receive autographed Tribe memorabilia. And then afterwards, everyone can head on down to the field and run the bases. If you don't have your tickets yet, get them now. Indians.com. You can get them as low as $8. Matt, Rick, we'll send it back up to you guys for now.
All right, thanks, Katie. Trevor Crow takes over for Shelley Duncan in left field. Here in the 7th inning, Rafael Perez, who got the double play ball to end the 6th, stays on. You've got the right-handed hitting Luke Hughes and then back-to-back lefties. And a first pitch strike. Ball's hit pretty well to deep left. Crow's going to play it off the wall, but it kind of hit that out-of-town scoreboard and deadened it. And a leadoff double for Hughes.
That's exactly what the Indians did. They able to come around and score in the bottom half of the inning. They got the leadoff double. This ball was smoked. Trevor Crow just inserted into the game. He turns around and he waits for it to come back. Nothing else he could do but watch. That ball just goes straight down. So the leadoff double for the Twins. Minnesota 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Tim Belcher out to talk to Perez as the Indians get that bullpen busy again. Sports Time Ohio is your home for Mid-American Conference Athletics. And throughout the month of October, tune into STO for MAC football each Saturday, starting October 8th when Bowling Green visits Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. Then stick with STO for extensive MAC basketball coverage, concluding with the Mid-American Conference Tournament next spring. Joe Smith getting loose in the tribe pin. But in the meantime, Brian Dinkelman is at the dish. He has walked, singled, and scored a run tonight. Not showing bunt, takes the ball down low.
Well, if you're Minnesota and you're Ron Gardenhire and you've got your kids up there, these are the guys you want to see if they can play situational baseball. You get them on, let's see if they can move them over. He's going to try and pull a ball. And that's exactly what he's trying to do, is hit it to the right side. Give that next guy an opportunity to get him in.
Popped him up. Marson. He's got it. One away. Back to the Hyundai Studios we go for another in-game update with Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, the Cardinals taking on the Cubs. The Cards just 2 games out in the wild card. Here's the only run tonight. The pitcher, Chris Carpenter, suicide squeeze, successful. 1-0 St. Louis. They're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning in St. Louis. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al.
Thanks, bro.
Rene Tassoni hit by pitches last time up. He's also walked tonight and grounded to short. Couple of birthday wishes tonight. Marianne Palent is 97 today, formerly of Youngstown, makes her home now in Texas. And Jenny Williott is 94 in Sharon, Pennsylvania. So happy birthday to both of you. Hit in the air, right center field, dropping, and it's a hit, and it's in the gap. It's going to go to the wall. Scoring is Hughes to tie the game, and Tassoni into second with an RBI double. So Rafael Perez with a couple of doubles allowed here in the 7th. And Minnesota comes right back to even it up. That's been the story all night. Back and forth we go.
Yes, it has. And he hung him a breaking ball. And he was able to get the first out. They didn't move him over, but he got a clutch hit here. And they just switched positions, man. Hughes to Sony. There it is. It is a tie ball game now. And Manny Acta going to the mound. In comes Joe Smith.
So a timeout here at Progressive Field, tied at 5. Sealy's Posturepedic mattress, made in Northeast Ohio. and by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. It's time to join the Hyundai movement. Well, Joe Smith coming on now for the Indians.
Well, coming on now with a tie ball game in that go-ahead run at second base in relief of Rafael Perez. Coming on to face Benson.
Loop towards center, and it drops for a hit.
Yeah,
coming around third. Tassone is put on the brakes, and now the runner breaks down to second base, or the hitter, I should say.
He slipped between second and third. He went down. That's why he couldn't score. And I'll tell you what, it was a good job by Benson to continue on the throw home where he saw it was not going to be cut off by the first baseman. And you watch this take place. He falls between short and third. Carrera thinks he's going to try and score, so he throws it all away, but Benson does a nice job of running because he misses the cutoff man. It's over his head. See, no chance for the first baseman there, so he just goes into scoring position. Now there's no double play, and they have to bring the infield in.
All right, so here's Drew Butera. Takes a strike. Missed inside.
No.
Nope. Called it.
Yeah, he
called
did.
a strike.
That thing came right back in. He's looking back at it like it was inside.
Hit on the ground to second. Kitten is coming home with the throw. Marson tags him out. Hangs on. As Tassone tried to knock him head over heels, but Marson barely budged. 2 down.
Well, that's the only chance you have. I mean, he made the mistake. He fell on the base hit the last time up, and he wants to try and score. But this ball was hit right at Jason Kipnis, and he gives a good feed to Marson. He gets the ball, and he has it plenty. He just put his head down, so good play. He had it in plenty of time. They get the force out, and I'll tell you, Minnesota could be leading this game by plenty. If you remember back in the 5th inning, they had bases loaded, nobody out, and didn't score.
Well, they've left 9 men on base to begin with. And if they strand 2 more here, yeah, they'll be a little salty in that Twins dugout. Not sure what was wrong with that, but it's called ball 1. Ben Revere 1 for 4 on the night. He had an infield single and came around to score way back in the 1st. Chop to first. Laporta will take it himself. And a good job by Joe Smith to get out of some serious trouble there. Twins strand 2 more. They've left 11. Time now for the Cleveland Clinic. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Progressive Field. Time now for our Miller Taste Greatness moment. How about Jim Thome? I didn't realize that, but he was the first and only player to not have an at-bat between home run number 599 and 600. He went back-to-back.
Yes, he did, man. Why waste time? That's what we say. And he went to left center and went against the team that he hit so many home runs against, the Detroit Tigers.
Matt Tolbert takes over for Brian Dinkelman at second base, and Dinkelman goes to right field for Michael Kadire. Man leading off for the Tribe, Jason Kipnis 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He'll be followed by Asdrubal Cabrera and then Jim Thome. Pitch number 95 for Carl Pavano. Kipnis shoots it out of play. Just a little bit inside. And Pavano visibly upset with home plate umpire Alan Porter. Phil Dumatre, the lefty. Sean Burnett, the right-hander. It's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Alex Burnett, excuse me. Now the 2-2. Full count. Broke his bat, banged it right back to Pavano. 1 down. That's only the second time tonight that Pavano has retired the leadoff man. Asdrubal Cabrera 0 for 3 tonight.
And guess what? Both times it was Jason Kipnis he retired.
That's right.
You know, I was looking down at that card and I'm thinking, holy smokes, he got him twice.
It's the 3rd time he's let off an inning, Kipnis. One ball, 1 strike. Oh, and he drilled Cabrera. I think he got him on the arm. And he'll eventually head down to first base. Well, Jim Thome coming to the plate. He has had quite a night. His first at bat, standing O, then an RBI double. Second time up, a mammoth 2-run homer to tie the game. And a curtain call. Last time up,
Tricked him.
infield single. And he is 3 for 3 on the evening. In the meantime, we've got a pitching change. Pavano headed out. Asdrubal Cabrera being looked at by Indians trainer Rick Jamieson down at first base after he got drilled by that pitch. All kind of action here at Progressive Field. He got plunked. Got him right on the elbow.
Oh, it sure did. Straight down. Look at that. He was going to go out of the way and take it in the side, but no siree. Right on the back of the elbow. That maybe got a little funny bone there and had a little tingling going on. Still looking to get some feeling back in the arm. You know, a lot of hitters will wear that brace on that elbow when they're on the plate. He doesn't wear it, so that hurt.
Meantime, Jim Thome hit his 604th career home run earlier tonight.
Trying to figure out a way he can get a triple for the cycle.
A perfect 3 for 3 on the evening. Phil Dumatre with a toss to first.
You know what? I've given up. I'll forget the cycle. Let him go deep again.
Let him do what he do.
Yeah. Go ahead and do what you do. Yeah, I think he wants to jog around.
He takes a strike. In the dirt. Just missed. Two-one pitch. Out of play. Not only has Jim Thome never hit for the cycle, but Murph tells me no one has ever hit for the cycle here at Progressive Field.
No, it's too hard. I can believe that. In Cleveland, back in 43. Wow, that's a long time ago. Now that I can't believe, but you know, in this ballpark, triple's not conducive to this ballpark.
Yeah, but we've seen inside the park home runs here.
A couple. Yes, we have. But I mean, that can happen, but triple's not good.
2-2 the count for Thome. With Cabrera at first and one out. Dumatre with a throw to first. This crowd didn't come here tonight to see you throw to first base. They want to see him throw to Thome. And they're letting him know about it. Again, the pitch. Runner goes. Thome with a chopper to first. Fielded there by Parmalee. And they finally retire Thome for the first time tonight. But Cabrera moves into scoring position with two down now. And Trevor Crowe will get his first at bat of the night. Duncan was 0 for 3. Now, I was kind of wondering when they made the defensive changes, Minnesota, with Brian Dinkelman going from second base to right field and Kadire coming out. And they're just telling us now that Kadire left the game with tightness in his right groin. Sure, Ron
shut him down the rest of the year.
Sure.
Take all my players.
The 1-0. Crowe a swing and a miss. Crowe trying to deliver with 2 outs here in the 7th in a tie game. Now he's down on the count of ball and 2 strikes. Diamatre with a 1-2. A little bit inside to even the count. Little tapper right out in front of the plate. And we'll go to the 8th, tied at 5.
Produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Eighth inning here at Progressive Field. And the Indians go back to the bullpen as right-hander Vinny Pestano comes on. Been a heck of a year for this rookie right-hander. Yep. 65th appearance.
Well, you look at his innings pitched, 59, 80 punch-outs, and he has only walked 24. And, you know, there's times where he's gone in there, Matt, and he just made it look so easy. Throwing strikes free and easy.
Trevor Plouffe, 1 for 3 on the night. Strike over the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Late swing and a miss and a full count. Popped him up. Marson might have his third. Put out of the night, and he does. Matt Tolbert will get his first at-bat after he took over when Michael Kadire left with tightness in the groin. Doesn't seem that often that you see 3 foul outs to the catcher in one game.
No.
Chop foul. Two-one pitch. Kipnis moving a long way to his left to grab it. Throws him out. 2 down. Chris Parmalee has had another good night swinging the bat for Minnesota. He had a 2-run single in the first and a solo home run in the third. Came in hitting .388. He's bumped that up to .396. 21 hits in 53 at bats. Started him off with an off-speed pitch. At the knees on the outside corner.
He go up there looking
0-2.
for fastball, and the next thing you know, he drops 2 sliders on. You're going, okay, I thought this guy had a good fastball. That was the scouting report you guys were telling me. Well, he hasn't seen one yet. He may here, up and away.
There it was, and it was fouled out of play.
Well, that wasn't. He threw one right down the middle, is what he did.
Here is the 0-2 pitch. A little bit outside. Fouled over at the Twins dugout. Five tie here in the 8th inning. Castano ready. The 1-2 slider is golfed to center. Back goes Carrera. And a 1-2-3-8 for Vinny Pastano.
Skeleton man.
5-5, bottom of the 8th for the Tribe. Lonnie Chisenhall, Matt Laporta, and Ezekiel Carrera due up. Dumatre got the last 2 outs of the 7th. He stays on to start the 8th. Lonnie rips it foul. And the 0-2. Foul back out of play. Chris Perez getting loose in the Tribe bullpen. Indians have 17 wins in their last at bat at home.
Well, earlier in the year when they were on that run and they were playing so well in this ballpark, this seemed to be a magical inning for them, the 8th inning.
Yeah. And Chisenhall strikes out. Only the 4th strikeout for an Indians hitter here tonight. Our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. Well, the big night has been had by Jim Thome, the man of the hour. But Matt Laporta has also had a nice evening. 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double, a couple of runs batted in, and he's at the plate now. Popped back out of play, and it's quickly 0-2. They appeal. He did not go around.
Take a look at it from the side. No, he was checked it.
Almost hit him. Line to the second baseman, Tolbert, who made a nice jumping catch.
Well, there's not much he did. Good at bat. Did everything in his power, hit a line drive, and just right into the tracks of Tolbert at second base. Thought it was going to be up and over that glove, but no, he jumps and snags it for an out. So the first time they've retired Laporte. Look at Dumatre. He said, "Get up there, son, catch that ball." They do. It's out number 2.
Ezekiel Carrera 0 for 2. Pop foul. That's going to go to the seats. And it's 0-2 on Carrera. Just did get a little piece of that to keep himself in there. Now the 2-strike pitch. A little bit outside. The Indians have won 5 straight against Minnesota. In those 5 games, Indians averaging just a shade under 6 runs a game.
Well, it's going to take 6 tonight to win this one.
The strength of their 5-game win streak against Minnesota, though, has been the starters, with a 1.91 ERA coming into tonight. But uncharacteristically tonight, Justin Masterson just had one of those nights. Didn't have it.
Season high 6 walks.
2-2. Right back to the mound. Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the 9th. Tied at 5. Five, 9th inning. Chris Perez coming on to pitch for the Tribe. He'll be facing Luke Hughes, Brian Dinkelman, and Rene Tassoni. Fouled right back to the screen. Luke Hughes has walked. He's been hit by a pitch. He has doubled and scored and has also struck out tonight. They had a pitch in there for a strike. It is 0-2. Katie Witham reporting that Asdrubal Cabrera, after being hit by that pitch, is now wearing a compression sleeve just to keep the swelling down on that right elbow. You can see it on his right elbow there. as you pointed out, when you got that elbow back and you hit right off the end, there's no meat on that part of your elbow.
Yeah, that's a stinger right there.
Yes,
they just
indeed.
put that pressure pack on to keep the swelling until they can do something after the game and put some ice on it.
2-2. High pop. Foul. Playable. Chisenhall. Cabrera as Drubel takes it. Straddling the line for out number 1. Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show comes your way after the ball game. Conrad's, home of the lowest everyday tire price guarantee. We'll have the highlights. Hopefully the Tribe pulls it out. We'll talk to one of the heroes, and we'll look forward to tomorrow. A long day of baseball here at the Yard. On Saturday, we've got a day-night doubleheader. A game at 1 o'clock on STO and at 7 o'clock on Channel 3. Little slider in there for a strike to Dinkelman. Singleton scored back in the 3rd. Oh, man, right back off of Lou Marson. Let's see where this one got him. I couldn't
just
tell.
right in the mask. Just a little wake-up call.
Yeah.
Deflected square hit.
A little bit outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Kansas City racked up 18 hits tonight in Chicago, and they beat up the White Sox 11-1, the final score there. Pop back towards us. Might be playable for Arch. Nope, can't reach out that far. You could have dove for that.
No, it's a little too late for that.
The 1-2. In the air, shallow left. Out goes Cabrera. He says, I've got it. And he does. 2 away. And you bring up Rene Tassoni as you see the Twins bullpen. The closer, Nathan, on the right. Should they take the lead? Matt Capps will be coming in if it remains tied.
Well, that's the guy that drove in their 5th run back in that 7th inning.
Bang foul. Popped back into the seats. Been a long year for Ron Gardenhire. He has watched his team just literally fall apart at the seams with injuries. 2-2. Popped in the air. Another pop-up. 3 of them in the inning. This time, Chisenhall takes it, and the Twins go 1-2-3. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Marson, Fukudome, Kipnis. Matt Capps coming on to work for Minnesota. Tell you, Phil DeMatre did a nice job. Left-hander retired all 5 batters that he faced.
Well, and that has been the Twins' problem this year. Their bullpen rated last in the league. And usually, you know, when you look at that Minnesota ball club or their team, their bullpen has always been very solid. But would they lose 4 guys out of the bullpen to free agency? So it has been a real sore spot for Ron Gardenhire.
Tell you, one of the key guys they lost was Jesse Crane.
To a rival.
That was a guy that was just money for a long time.
Guerrero, the guy that went out to the
Guerrero,
Dodgers, yeah.
And who was the big guy? John Roush pitched well for him, too.
Went over to Toronto. And one more they had. So Santana coming up to hit for Lou Marson.
He can't have many pinch hit appearances this year because he's been an everyday player. He's 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. There's a long drive. Deep right center field. Going to Souvenir City, and the Indians will walk off with another win. Carlos Santana on the first pitch blasts off, and the Indians take it by a final score of 6-5. Santana taking a page from Jim Thome's playbook, and he goes deep to win it here in the bottom of the 9th.
Boy, oh boy, don't try and get ahead of me with that fastball. And he's going to end it with one swing of the bat on one pitch. So a little magic on Jim Thome night. Carlos Santana. How about that for an ending?
Perfect ending. As the Indians win it 6-5. Jim Thome had a great night, and he'll join us on the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. But before we get to that, our KeyBank play of the game brought to you by KeyBank. Thanks for making KeyBank the #1 bank in Northeast Ohio.
Let's go back to that 3rd inning. Jim Thome gets a fastball up out over the plate, and what's he do with it? He knows right what to do with it. Straight away center field. Over there where he hit about that 511-foot home run, the longest in Progressive Field history. Takes the curtain call. That tied the ball game up for Jim Thome, and on Jim Thome night, that's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.
Well, stay right there. We're coming back with Jim Thome on the Conrad's post-game show straight ahead. Tribe a winner tonight, 6-5.